Why is it that after asking God for forgiveness, after committing a sin, you get punishment or there is consequences? I'm going to show you a few reasons why, as a believer, you commit a sin and then after you will receive punishment from God. I'm going to use several examples and several characters in the Bible as an example to justify this matter. But I want you to stay tuned with me, watch till the end, and subscribe, follow, share, comment. God bless you. Now, there are a lot of things that transpired in the Bible that I want you to understand. The first character is Moses. Moses is the man that walked with God to the extent where God said that I will make you a god unto Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother will be your prophet. Aaron is actually the uncle to Moses, but he was made the prophet of Moses. That shows that Pharaoh is a god, and God made Moses a higher god unto Pharaoh. So that shows that Moses was 100% God and 100% man in his lifetime. You see, so there is a point Moses entered with God. Before I further talk about Moses, there are three levels of journey with God as a man. And the first is working for God. This is a point where somebody gives our life to Christ, and there's this zeal, there's this passion. The person who want to preach the gospel, who want to go to the church, clean everything, want to do everything. It happens to everybody that get to know Jesus. They give their life to Christ. There's this passion, there's this fresh love. There's the first love of the Father that transpires in this person's mind. That is the level of working for God. The second level is working in God. At this level, you are getting to know little things about God. God is giving you whisper from Zion. You are getting it, but you are not too sure about it. In this level, they have a lot of depth in it. Walk into it in several ways in this walking in God. That was what happened to Paul at a certain point. He said that I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless, not I. The life that I live is no longer I that liveth it, but Christ that liveth it in me. There is this zeal in him, there's this passion, there's this thing, because he is walking in God and God is in him. So God is in you, you are in him, but you have not gotten it so sharp from the onset. But when you go into it, there's a depth in it. So to cut it short, the last journey is working with God. At this point, you are no longer, God will no longer see you as a servant, though you are a servant, but he will no longer see you as a servant. He will see you as a man after his own heart, or as a friend. Now you are working with him to allow the kingdom purposes to come into an existential reality. So these are the journey with God. At this last level or last journey with God, you will need to be very careful, because whatever you do will be used against you immediately. God will forgive you, but the consequences will never be forgiven. And that was the level the man like Moses entered into, working with God. At this certain point, he don't need to blaspheme or to err, because if you do that, he will be punished immediately. At that point, some certain errors or mistakes should not be implied. If not, you will be judged. So Moses walked to the point. At that certain point, God told him, he gave him an instruction. Meanwhile, the instruction he gave to him was the instruction he gave to him previously, but now God has changed the level. At this point, you need to be very careful with the voice of God to get to whisper from him and to be accurate towards performing whatever assignment he gives to you. So he told him, speak to the rock, but he struck it. Why? Because the people were oiling his sword at him, but yet Moses was the weakest man on it. But at this point, the thing has become so much more that it has exceeded his level of weakness on earth, and then he struck it. And God said, look at it, but you will not go there. Another character I want you to understand in the Bible is the person of David. David is a man after God's own heart. He walked with God until the point where David heard, and then what he did was that he slept with Bathsheba and killed the husband Uriah, who was actually his servant. So we saw that when David did that, immediately God spoke through the mouth of Nathanael, because he forgot about what happened. He spoke to the mouth of Nathanael the prophet, and then Nathanael gave him an illustration, and to cut everything short, God gave him three consequences. Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I allow you to be given to your enemy? Should I take the throne from you? Should I kill the child? So he gave him three options, and then he said the one that is best for you. Inasmuch as David fasted and prayed for 3 days, dry fasting, on sackcloth, staying on ashes, yet God took away the child. That is the consequences. Another character I still wanted to remember is what transpired in the book of John that is with Zachariah, who is the high priest. At that certain point, when Angel Gabriel appeared to him and told him about the possibility with God, but he said, how can this thing be? Why? He was actually speaking from the circumstances at that point, because he was stricken in age and the wife has passed the time of bearing a child. But the angel never expected him as a high priest who go to the Holy of Holies to doubt the speech of God, because he might have accessed several dimensions in God. In short, walking with God to the expect that he should know that everything is possible with God, no matter how impossible it is with man. So that was what happened. Immediately he was struck deaf and dumb until the time that the child John came forth. So I want you to understand that at this certain level, at this certain point, you don't misbehave. If you misbehave, you have a problem. And there are some people that will ask me a question, is it that we have entered into walking with God? Why did it happen this way? But just like I told you before, that there are three journeys of man with God. That is walking for God, in God, and with God. So this walking in God, I told you, it has depth. So at a certain point, when you misbehave while walking in God, you have a problem. I can say that David is a man that walked in God, but he didn't assess the time of walking with God, because there are some part of the scripture where the Bible told us about Abraham walking with God, Moses walking with God, but David is a man after my heart and his servant. So I want you to understand that there are levels you enter with God, in God, for God, that you don't misbehave. If you misbehave, God will forgive you, but the consequences will not elude you. God bless you.